so cool. Joey's cool. He's so cool. He's so cool. He's so cool. Joey Reynolds Show. Live on your radio. He ain't your average Joe. He's so cool. He's so cool. He's so cool.
Yeah, I'm so cool, all right. I'm 20 below zero is what I am. I'm a kid from Buffalo, and I'm always cold. Why? I guess I'll never warm up. Maybe to some people I might warm up. I might warm up to a big fat guy, because that's how you get, that's how you get some heat. In this room, it is 20 below zero. Letterman would probably think it's too cold in here. And he loves his studio at 40 degrees, I think it is. The whole audience freezes when they go to his show, you know. You think it's winter in July because he loves the air conditioning. Well, we all like air conditioning, but I'm trying to conserve on fuel. That's a lie. Now, we got Mike, the kid from Brooklyn, here tonight, who is a large guy. Is it cold enough for you tonight, Big Mike?
Oh, man, you can hang meat in here.
I know. This is cold, isn't it?
It's a freezer. You can hang meat in here.
But you like this, don't you?
Me, I like it, yeah.
Why?
I like it cool.
Is it Northeasterners, people who are used to New York? New Yorkers like it cold, don't they?
Well, I'll tell you, it beats the heat. I can't stand the heat.
You're not moving to Florida?
No way. No shot. Not Florida, Arizona, or Nevada. I'm not moving there.
But how about L.A.? You'd go there for a film?
L.A., yeah, I'd go there, have some fun.
You would have a film career, wouldn't you?
Well, maybe.
You would take that.
I would take it.
Yeah. So what are you doing these days? Anything important besides hanging around like the meat from Rocky?
Well, I'll tell you. These days, about 3 months ago, I tried out for Last Comic Standing, and it was an adventure. They had it over there at Gotham Comedy Club on East 14th Street, and I had to wait online about 9 hours, in a cold, which I didn't mind. And then finally, nobody knows what they're doing there. They give you an application to fill out. And I filled out the application. They give you a number. And then they take you into a room and they say, okay, be funny and do your best joke. Take it easy, Joe. We don't want you to choke over here now. We need you around here.
I said do your best joke.
You all right, boss?
Yeah, I'm all right, fine.
And I did it before a video camera. Yeah. And I said, wait.
I just had a drink of water.
That's all right.
The water is killing me. I was doing great with the Diet Coke. No, rats die from the Diet Coke. The water is killing me. So you picked a number. You signed up for the Last Comic Standing.
Wait online 9 hours. Nobody knows what's going on. They take me into a little room, and they say, we'll have to videotape you. And I said, well, listen, I want to go before Belzner. I want to go be the Soprano guy. What's his name? He was a judge there.
Which one? There's a bunch of them.
He paid, he married Tony's sister. Who was the guy? Sharipa?
Steve Sharapa.
Shreve Sharapa.
Yeah.
And the Belzner. And they were in there, and they got me in a room, a private room, videotaping it, and I said, listen, how do I know anybody's going to see this? What is this, a fix? Nobody knows from nothing. I leave there. I'm getting in my car. All of a sudden, they call me on my cell phone. Come back. You can go before one of the judges. So I go in there. And I did my birthday joke, which you want me to do the joke? I'll do the exact joke.
Sure.
I had a friend of mine. He took his 2 kids over to Yankee Stadium last week. It took them 2.5 hours to get in the joint. Cops going through your pockets, searching your bags, confiscating little penknives. But meanwhile, it's bat day. They're handing out 50,000 baseball bats, which dawned on me. The airline should get into this racket. Every passenger that boards a plane, hand him a baseball bat, a big Louisville slugger. Add it in the price of the ticket. What can it cost them? $8, $9 a piece wholesale? Now, if you're one of these terrorists and you get on that plane and you see 300 people armed with baseball bats, what are you going to do?
Slugfest.
You're going to stick your finger up you know where and whistle Dixie. You're getting the hell out of there. Which dawned on me again. Yeah. I pray I was a passenger on one of them planes and one of them hijackers would pull a box cutter or a knife on me. I hit him over the head and send him to blue heaven. And I did the bat day joke, which I thought...
It's funny. It's fun. It's funny. It's a great concept.
So I did the joke in front of this woman who's the judge, and she go, oh... She says, you're not exactly what we're looking for. I said, all right, I accepted it. You're not what I'm looking for.
What does that mean? What's she looking for?
So I go out into the lobby, and here comes the woman that judged me, and I said, listen, it's off the record now. I mean, why, what was the matter with me? She says, well, we're looking for actually younger people between 25 and 35. She says, we're not looking for old. So I said, why didn't you advertise that? I'm 60 years old. I wouldn't have came down here, wait 9 hours online and get all messed up. Just advertise. We're looking for young talent. So I got a little disappointed. I figured, to be quite honest with you, I think it's a rig. It's a fix. That they're unorganized. They take who they want. And I saw the first episode of The Last Comic Stand, and I said to myself, if they pick these people over me, then the world's coming to an end. They weren't funny. They looked funny. If you want me to get in a clown suit and wear a red nose, you got the wrong guy. And that's what I think. I think it's a rig. I'm being 100% honest, but I think the show's a rig.
So what were you? You waited outside with a bat?
Me? Nah, I didn't wait outside with a bat. I got in my car and I went home. I'm not going to wait outside with a bat.
You know what it is? You're New York comedy. You are in your face comedy. And it's not really like you're doing a joke and a punchline or any of that business. You're doing an experiential, funny drama log. It's a comedy adventure
It's
series.
A true story,
right.
Yeah, but you put it into comedy
It's like I talk about the White House. I think it ought to become a timeshare. That's a concept.
Well, it's a concept.
Yeah, and then you laugh at the idea because it's so silly.
It's like you always say. It's Senator Hillary Clinton, New York State, Barack Obama, Illinois, and McCain, Arizona. They're all state senators. They haven't worked in 2 years in their position. They're out looking for a better job for the presidency of the United States, but they still take that check every week.
That's right.
And you agree with me because you even said it.
Yeah.
Why should we have to pay these people if they're not performing their senator duties?
Well, I got another one. I was thinking, why don't we put all three of them in the White House and let them duke it out? Give each of them a bat.
Well, you give them a bat or we'll give them a water gun. We'll put it to you that way.
But a bat's a good concept, see? That's a good idea.
A baseball bat usually scares anybody away.
Well, I think if you had that behind the counter when you run a 7-Eleven store, you would even get a masked bandit nervous.
Well, you get anybody nervous with a baseball bat. I mean, that's a legal weapon.
Because you might be able to swing,
A baseball bat, to me, I'll take a baseball bat over a machete any day of the week.
And, it's really dangerous if you got a Dominican with a baseball bat.
Why is that?
Because they know how to play.
Oh, they know how to play, you're right. They know how to play, you're right. They know how to hit.
That's right. So you got a little flack from the standing comedy, Last Comic Stand. But, you're right. It's like the Gong Show. It's pretty insulting. They want you there to be, so they want someone there to make fun of.
They want clowns.
Yeah.
I'm just a stand-up guy.
They did you a favor.
They did me a favor. I mean, look, I didn't expect to win the first prize, but at least they could have done was put me on the first episode. They could have put me on the show.
But you're wrong for it. See, and it's like my kids. I thought if I ever had a daughter who was talented, and could sing or something, and she went on American Idol, and the guy started making fun of her, I'd have to kill the guy. I'd have to kill him.
That's another show I think's rigged.
Well, it's a humiliation show. You're there to be made fun of. It's a mock show, mockery show.
This guy Simon, they say he gets $30 million a year.
Well, whatever he gets. What does he do?
What?
Who is he?
What does he do? Is he an expert? I mean,
No.
Who is this guy to get $30 million a year? What does he do to get that? Even to demand that kind of money?
They demand it. They have created a franchise.
Created a franchise.
Yeah, anything that the public now recognizes and acknowledges as a brand has a value to it.
Well, personally, I don't know the guy, but I just dislike the guy, just his attitude.
Well,
that's it. That's my opinion. He might be the greatest guy in the world off the camera, but on that show, to give the guy like that $30 million, I think that the producers are out of their minds. You can get somebody like me way cheaper.
We'll be right back. The Joey Reynolds Show with the kid from Brooklyn, Mike. Mike, who was the fat rat Is that what they call you? Something like that.
And that's the first time I heard fat rat. No way, I'm a rat.
We'll be right back. Mike, the kid from Brooklyn, is here. But you're not a kid. I mean, why do you call yourself the kid from Brooklyn? Well, you were a kid a long time ago.
Well, basically, the guy asked me, what do you want to call the website? So, I'm the kid from Brooklyn. Listen, I'm 60, but I feel like I'm still a kid. I'm childish, so a kid from Brooklyn. That's it. I'm the kid from Brooklyn.
Have you always been this way, even when you were a kid?
No. In fact, I'm a late bloomer. 10 years ago, I probably wouldn't even be in a radio station. I was very shy. I wouldn't get up in front of people and perform. And now I do it like it's nothing. It's just it just came out.
Do you get up in front of crowds? Do you do that?
Large crowds, do the stand-up. Go to a lot of comedy clubs. People laugh. I never went to a show yet where they didn't laugh, and I went to a lot of shows where the guys in front of me, they booed them off the stage, and I had to go, and it was a little tougher,
Sure.
But I never got a crowd that didn't laugh yet, and let's keep it that way.
So what do? You get out there and do what?
Well, I'll do the Starbucks joke. That day, I do Rosie O'Donnell joke. I got a routine. I got about 20, 30 jokes, and I just rattle them off.
Do they work?
They work. Starbucks is the biggest one.
Yeah. So you already know your material, and
I know the material. I know how to say it.
What happens if you do it and you know it's surefire, but they don't laugh?
Just go on to the next one.
You don't care.
Don't care. What are you going to do?
I don't know. So you're not personal about it.
No.
You have nothing
way.
invested in the material.
No way.
Because you didn't pay for it. That's why.
Well, it was all my material. Nobody wrote it for me.
Yeah, but if you bought it and you paid for that,
if I bought it and I paid for it, it's another story.
You'd be pissed off. I mean, if you had paid for a joke and it works and then it doesn't work, you'd want your money back.
I never paid for a joke. Basically, all my material is just normal everyday, normal everyday life that people they go through the experience.
So your idea of a writer's strike is when you slept in.
That's right.
Yeah,
slept right in.
There was a whole couple of months there where there wasn't anything funny on television except people like you and I who were just bitching. But they didn't have any writers. There were no writers.
Well, look, the writers, in my opinion, deserve the money they get. Some of them are brilliant people, and they come up with some good stuff, and they deserve the money they get. Why should a producer or a director get all the money? Give it to the writers. Those are the people that make the show, and I'm with the writers.
You are. Well, what about when you don't need writers?
Well, a guy like me, I don't need a writer. But if I had to hire one, I would hire one.
Yeah, me too. I could use some material.
Basically, I need ideas. That's all. I don't need material.
Yeah.
I'm getting on Hillary Clinton lately and Barack Obama.
You're doing better than Bill.
Well, Bill, I think actually Bill Clinton dragged her down. I think if it wasn't for Bill Clinton, she might have won the nomination. He didn't help her. He dragged her down.
Oh, yeah?
I thought, in my opinion, he did. I figured he pulled a lot of blunders in that campaign. And then how can you trust a guy, honestly speaking, how can you trust a guy who went before 300 million Americans on television and went through a congressional committee and said, I never had sex with that woman? How can you trust the guy? He would have been better off just saying, yes, I did. I was weak to the flesh. I'm a 55-year-old man, and I couldn't help it. I had a 22-year-old naked woman in front of me, and yes, I did commit sex. I did that. And the people would have respected him better, right?
Well,
Tell the truth.
Not all of us.
Well, most would have said, okay, at least he admitted it.
Yeah.
But don't go on, I never had sex.
But that didn't hurt her campaign.
Well, listen, I think that basically, if she didn't have Bill Clinton, I think she would have come a little closer to win that nomination.
I think she needed to go before 300 million people and say, I never had sex.
Well, I would lay, if I was a gambling man, they took a bet in Las Vegas, I would bet that they don't sleep in the same bed. That I would bet on.
You think so?
Definitely, 100%.
Well, then,
definitely.
How could he bring her down?
Well, I would say they haven't slept together in 20 years.
Really?
Yeah, really.
They're probably very much in love and very close.
Well, I don't think it's love. I think it's a business proposition.
Really?
Really, 100%. Well, you think different?
Yeah.
You think they're actually in love?
Yeah. I think they.
Would you bet your life on that?
Yeah, I would. I think they're still making whoopee. I think they have an active sex life. I'll bet you, because he's not going anywhere.
Yeah, well,
he better go somewhere. He can't go.
Well, they claim he's messing around, but nobody's got the solid proof.
Well, he can't go anywhere to he can't get away with anything.
No, now he's finished. He's finished.
So he's got to go to his wife.
He's all washed up now. He's finished. He's dead.
Yeah. Well, when you are looking at the Clintons, you must be thinking of the Kennedys, because it seems to be the same thing.
Well, basically it is, sex, power, and economics. Same thing with the Kennedys. Sex, power, and economics.
Yeah.
Same thing.
And Obama's different?
Well, Obama, I admire the guy. He's one of the best speakers I ever saw in my life. I mean, I don't know where he gets these speeches from, but this kid's brilliant.
So does Bill Clinton. Bill
Clinton, a very good speaker.
Yeah.
True, I agree with you.
Yeah.
But this Barack Obama is one of the best speakers I've seen the last 30. This kid, he's got it together. And I call him a kid because he's like 47 years old. He'd be a young president. And basically, I tell everybody, it's still a lot of prejudice in the United States, which people won't admit. There's still a lot of prejudice, and I just can't see this day and age an Afro-American in the White House. I really mean it. I can't see it. I could be wrong, but it's still, I get a lot of emails every day because I'm supporting Barack Obama, and all the hate mail that I get from especially down south, there's a lot of prejudice that still exists in this country today, and we can't deny that. There's a lot of people that still are prejudiced.
He's not a black president anyway.
Well, he's half white and half black.
Yeah.
By law, he would be white because he comes from a white mother. He comes from a mother that was white.
Is she Jewish?
Well, I don't know what she is.
That's how you follow it,
I don't know. Maybe she's Muslim. I don't know.
So you got, Barack Obama? That's the thing that killed me with him right away.
Where do they come up with these names today?
From Osama bin Laden.
Barack
Obama.
What kind of name?
Ramalama Ding Dong.
Why didn't she name him Fred, Charlie, Harry,
Boogity Shoe? How about that ridiculous Derek Jeter? Who would call yourself Derek if your last name was Jeter?
Derek ain't too bad.
But not combined with Jeter. Derek Jeter, Obama bin Laden, Osama bin Laden, or whatever.
Yeah.
Come on.
People come up today with names I never. Whatever happened to the women names like Ruth, Susan, Mona? You don't hear of these names no more. Now it's
Mona.
When's the last time you heard of? Beside my wife, I haven't heard anybody called Mona in 40 years. How about Ida? You hear any women out there named their little girl Ida?
We'll be right back. The Joey Reynolds show.
Or even Myra.
We see where the Mike, the kid from Brooklyn, endorses Obama. So now you let it out. You let it out of the bag today. I was at a conference today with the pioneers of radio, and on the panel were Joe Franklin, Bob Grant, Bruce Williams, and Barry Farber. And I asked them, who are you voting for? I asked them, who are you behind? Now, you could take all of the guesses in the world. You probably would never have... You would never guess the answer. Never guess the answer.
Well, they would have to tell me.
That's right. I would have to tell you because you wouldn't guess what they would say.
Neither.
They said nothing.
Nothing.
Can you imagine? These are talk show hosts that every day, all they ever do is talk about politics. But today, not any one of them wanted to say anything about it. All the things that we talked about, and it was a whole hour-long session of everything, they never really, any one of them, mentioned anybody running for office they would vote for.
Well, let me ask you a question. You're a sharp, smart, educated man. Let me ask you this.
This is a setup
Does it
already.
matter who wins the presidency of the United States? Is anything going to change right away?
Yeah, if you listen to what I'm saying carefully, and I'd like you to leave this room, well, not now, but when you're done, and think about this later. And in a comedy way, it's funny, but in another way, it's a serious answer to what you just asked me. Yes, I believe we can make a change, but I don't think it's change. That's what Obama wants. I think we need choice, and we're not having choice. We don't need change. Change is just another way of doing something. Choice is giving you something else to have that might have an impact or an answer. Now, here's what I think. I believe that what's really fallen apart more than anything is the Congress and the Senate, because they are the guys who cross-check the system of the president. Not any one of them has held this president in the last 7 years accountable for his behavior. The only time they jump to it is when somebody does something illegal, and then the Justice Department, whom he appointed, jumps in. So it doesn't work. My suggestion is we take all three of these people who have risen to the top with great funding. So they are American, capitalistic, and they are superbly gifted, all three of them, in hustling, in manipulating, in cajoling, in convincing, and selling. They're great salesmen. They're great marketing experts. All three of them got to this place because of what I just said to you. They become stars. They become personalities. They become entrepreneurs. They've gotten money from corporations. They've gotten personal money. So they have figured out how to get really famous and powerful, that which you spoke about earlier. Now, if that's the case, why don't we have all three of them in the same room? Because then you'll have the black, the white, the woman, the rich, the poor, the health plan, the education. If you have all three of them, you'll have everything that we're lacking right now, because that's what each one of them has something different to add. Now, here's the last part. The reason I'm saying it is because that's what Congress and the Senate's not doing. They're crippled by running for office, by old turkey meat, by a system that's corrupt and tired. Anyway, honestly, let's be honest about it. It's a tired system.
It's more greed and corruption in the U.S. government.
So clean them out. Here's how you clean them out. You do something different. You take these three people and make them co-president, and let them go to town on whatever they got to clean out. And trust me, they will get rid of all the Congress and senators, and they will get rid of the Justice Department, and you'll have all these things happen. The oil prices will go down when the American dollar is revalued, when we don't owe $9 trillion in debt. Ron Paul is right about that. Ralph Nader's right about what he says. These people who have been outside voices are right about what they're saying, and some of the things, not everything. I'm not right about everything, but I'm right about some things. And if we put our heads together, we'll be right about everything. Everything will hum, and that's the way it's supposed to be. What we're doing right now is we're paying all these oil prices because we are paying twice as much, so that the Arabs can make just as much. See, our dollar, they're using American dollars for exchange for oil, and the American dollar is worth half as much as it was, so they had to double the price. So now they have the even price they always had. They're not doing anything any different than they should. They're charging as much. They're charging more so they can have what they always had. True. Which is very American. Well, and so, if somebody explains this properly, and then we realize that we're in deep, doo-doo, because we're not valuing the dollar. See, we're valuing candidates. I don't value a candidate. What needs to be evaluated is not the candidate or the party, but rather the money. Because that's what we're all about anyway.
That's all about money. Well, money, power, and economics.
Right. So that's my thing.
Well, my opinion is I don't want change.
No, I don't either.
I want to bring things back the way they were when I was growing up in the 50s. I want all the mom and pop stores back. I want people to be able to go out and buy a house that they can afford. No young people today can go out and afford to put a down payment on a house. But when I was a kid, you put down $500 and you could buy a house for $10,000.
Now that's not.
I want to bring it back.
What you're saying is not exactly true. I have friends in Hawaii right now who I stayed with when I was there, who are doing low price, not low income, but they're doing low price housing. Now, Dale Parsons and his wife, Ginny Parsons, he was the program director of NBC with Howard Stern and I.
What's low price housing to you?
About $60,000 for a house.
$60,000. Oh, that is low price.
Yeah, with quality.
Try to get a house. You wouldn't get a dog house in New York for $60,000.
Well, no, but I'd like my home in Central Park. Thank you. But this is high quality building materials too. This
is the first I'm hearing of this.
I know, because we need new ideas, and you need to hear about people who are having success with things, and they're having success in little pockets. But if we're, the cleaning lady here tonight was walking around with a cell phone. What the hell is she walking around with a cell phone while she's cleaning this building for?
Well, she might have miscleaned one office, and they want to get a hold of her. Come back. You missed a basket of trash. Come back and get it.
I went to the motor vehicle today. You know what they're doing? They're wearing iPods. Now, what is this? You're going to go, every job has somebody doing something that's a distraction, or they're not in the real place where they belong while they're paid to be there. What is this society like right now?
Society today, when I went to the motor vehicle about 2 years ago to switch a New York license to a Jersey license, I had to take the written test over. When I went there, they gave the test out in 12 different languages. These people couldn't read or write one sentence of English, and they gave them the driving test in their native language. So I went up like a gentleman, went up to the head, whatever you want to call him, clerk there, and I said, how can you give these people a written test in their own native language? What happens now? They go out on I-95 doing 65, 70 miles an hour, and the blinking sign says, slow down immediately, accident ahead. They can't read or write English. What's the world coming to? If they can't read or write English, don't give them the driver's license, and I stand by that.
You're right.
I mean, I stand. Right. Now, wait a minute. That ain't. I was in New Jersey. I was in back of an old Asian woman. She was with two hands on a wheel. Nothing against Asian people. I said, let me stay away. Anybody that drives with two hands on a wheel, looking like this, stay away from them. I stopped for the light. She's 20 feet in front of me. I swear to God, this is the truth. The light changes. She puts the car in reverse. Boom! Right into me. I get out like a madman. I got out like a nut. Give me your license and registration. I should die if I'm lying. So sorry. No speak English. No speak English. How'd you get the license? How'd you get the driver's license? I mean, how can you give anybody today a driver's license if they don't read or write English? I want to know. You're a sharp guy. Tell me, how can I give them the license? They can't read road signs.
Right. I don't disagree with you. But, you call them Asians.
Asians.
Yeah. We don't call them that anymore.
No, what do you call them?
Orientals.
Orientals.
Yeah.
I don't want. I'm on a radio now. I don't want to tell you what we called them in 1950. I'm sure you know what we called them.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot.
You can't say that no more.
No, you can't say
I'd be politically incorrect.
Right. And even a druggie. A druggie is now known as a crack American.
A crack American.
You can't even call them druggies anymore.
Sometimes I think the whole United States Senate smoking crack.
Hey, now you're going to my territory.
Yeah.
What did you think of my plan, Mike? You never commented on it.
Well, your plan is good. They should have not one president. They should have three people running this country. And I say, instead of these, I want to put a time clock on all these senators, congressmen, because they actually, if you're real, they work an hour and a half, 2 hours a day. They come in at 11, they work for an hour, lunch, they come back at 2, 3 o'clock, they're on their way home.
That's right.
And I would bet any amount of money there ain't one congressman or one senator that works more than 15 hours a week, and I'll bet you anything you want to bet on it.
I'll tell you what I want to do. I think we ought to get a gay decorator, bring him into the White House and have him put 3 card tables in the Oval Office and have them sit at their little card tables and run the country. And so that it's a modest little effort of these 3 people without doing anything fancy, and just sit there and start working away until we get this thing on course. And then they can have better desks. and you give them weekends at Camp David as a perk, you know, and you give them a little bit of sex too. You might throw someone into the Lincoln bedroom.
Well, it's sex, power, and economics.
Yeah.
I mean, those are the three powerful things.
They can rotate that bedroom. All right, you know, yeah, they did already. We'll be right back. The Joey Reynolds Show live from New York. Mike is here, and Mike, the kid from Brooklyn, who has a site. Well, now what's that site? If I wanted to go and hear anybody bid,
www.thekidfrombrooklyn.com.
And do you have that book?
The book is Go F Yourself. I didn't say it now. I just said F.
I know.
And the new book's coming out. Don't do it in my hat and tell me it fits. I don't want to say the word. That comes out in October.
With the hat?
With the hat. The book with the hat. Don't, number 2 and then tell me it fits.
Yeah, I think we all get the picture.
You got it.
We all know.
Getting back to these Saudi Arabians, I
didn't know we left them.
No, I just want to. How many years we've been protecting these Saudi Arabians?
No, they give us a place to land the planes.
Oh, well, but basically they're under our protection. We protect these people. If it wasn't for us, the Chinese or the Russians, they'd look to take them right over. It's like, so I say to them, give them an ultimatum. Say, listen, we don't want to steal this oil from you. We just like you to speed up production a little bit and just lower the price a little bit so the American people can live, or else we're not going to protect you no more. We're going to pull out. Let the Chinese and the Russians deal with it.
Are you Italian?
Me? No, I'm Chinese.
That sounds like something very Italian to tell them.
Listen.
That you're going to protect them.
We are protecting them. We protect half the world, don't we? We protect half the world.
On Mulberry Street, we have a protection agency.
I know storekeepers years ago paid $20, $30 a week to make sure their windows didn't get broke. True, I agree with you. Hey, listen, somebody might cut by in the middle of the night and throw a brick through the window, but for $30 a week, we'll make sure that don't happen. That's true. But we got all our armed forces, all our brave men and women, who knows how many troops stationed. We protect half of the world, and you can't deny that. True.
Well, do you think you would threaten the royal family of Saudi that someone might throw a barrel of oil through their window?
Listen, there's only one thing I'm going to say.
What's that?
And I say this, people think I'm crazy. I'm not crazy. We spent trillions of dollars developing nuclear weapons. The government won't even tell you how much money they spent developing these nuclear weapons. And I got one question for you and everybody that's listening to me out there. When the hell are we going to use one? I want to know they work. How did I know? How do we know they work? Send one over there. Give them a small taste. Show the American people the nukes work. Do you know they work? Are you 100% do you know, would you bet your life that they work? I'm asking you.
No, I don't know.
Show us. Send a little taste over there. As soon as these buildings went down, 9/11, I would have sent a small taste over there just to show them, next time we're blowing up the whole country.
So you're for this nuclear proliferation? Is that what they call it?
Listen, you got the power now. Let's use it. What happens when some nut out there in the Middle East gets the power we have? Don't you think they're going to use it on us?
I don't know.
You don't know. If you don't know, you're living in another world. Sure, they're going to use it. What about this Ahmadinejad? He'd annihilate Israel in 2 seconds if he had the power, wouldn't he? He says it every day.
Oh, that's just talk.
Talk.
How's he going to annihilate Israel?
Israel's a very powerful country. Most people, they got a lot of nukes. I think they could take out half the world. So basically, when you allow people to come to your home and destroy it, I figured it had to be some kind of retaliation. And how come it's almost 7 years now? I want to know, where's the building? They should have gave the job to Trump. He would have had him up in 6 months. Trump would have had him up in 6 months with 2 towers. He would have built them 140 stories high. 7 years and it's still a hole in the ground.
Because they can't decide on the rent. That's why.
They can't decide on the rent?
Yeah.
I think they're scared to put them up. How's that? I think it's like if you put them buildings up again, it's like waving a red flag in front of a bull. Them Arabs are going to look to knock it down again. That's what I think. I think they got the fear to put them up. Should have gave the job to Trump. He would have him up in 6 months.
Well, the reason why they're not up is because there's precious real estate. Nobody can decide on who the landlord is.
Nobody knows who the landlord
No.
is? It's not written down, or we own this property? No,
because,
I can't believe that.
Well, you got the Port Authority of New York, which is a vague organization that nobody really can
With
understand.
all the lawyers and everybody.
That's right, exactly.
Nobody knows nothing.
It's an octopus. There's a
that
lot of
reminds me of the U.S. government. Nobody knows nothing.
Of course they can't.
Nobody knows nothing.
They don't want you to know anything. I mean, you ruin the game. What are you talking? The game is what's being played. You know that.
It's a game. It's a game of corporate America. Eventually, it's going to come back, just like the Roman Empire. The most powerful people in the world is just going to crumble from within. I mean, how much can people take? And the oil went up today, $138 a barrel today. Stock market dropped over 400 points. The average man today can't get in his car like we experienced in 1955. You go in, you get $2 worth of gas. You get out on the highway, you can drive all night. You and your family go to Coney Island, get a hot dog, go on. You can't do that no more. Now it costs you $100 to fill up the tank. So what you ruin what they're doing, what they want to do. They want to ruin the American economy, and they already did a hell of a good job. Because the American dollar, they laugh at you now when you go to Europe. They laugh at you. Like you said, half, it's worth 25% of what it used to be.
Yeah. Well, that's why I suggested what I did.
The world's coming to an end.
No, I don't suggest that. The world isn't, unfortunately. If it were coming to an end, you wouldn't have anything to argue about. You just know that the end is near, and then what? So what?
What?
If you knew you had a week, why would you want to fix anything?
How about an hour? Me, I'd be one of the very few to die with a smile on my face. Hey, it's all over, thank God.
Well, I
ain't got to worry about it no more.
That's because you're very spiritual.
Me.
I can tell from the way you talk.
I have no fear in me. That's my problem.
I don't have any, but you have faith then, because faith is...
Faith I have, but fear none.
The opposite of fear is faith.
No fear.
So where do you have your faith? Do you have faith in the government?
I got faith in myself.
Good.
That's the only person I have. If America would stick together, and I don't want 1 million people. They had a 1 million man march. I want 10 million people, and I want to surround that. Let the people show that they're tired of taking all this. Why don't they do it? People are scared. 10 million people surround that White House. There ain't no army in the world going to control. You're going to show that you got power. We want these oil prices lowered. We want a better government. We want better people to tell us how to rule this country, because that's what they're doing.
And you're not going to get it out of the 3 who are running right now.
The 3 that are running.
It's a joke. It's a joke. You're not going to get it. They
3
speak
dead
real
horses.
well, but they're 3 dead horses.
One
exactly
guy wants to stay in Iraq for whatever it takes. The other one wants to give the national health insurance to the whole country, and the other one's a mope. So that's it.
A mope?
Two dopes and a mope. How can you win? How can you win? You got 2 dopes and a mope running the country.
I agree. I mean, I agree with you. I totally.
And then the whole Congress, you'd be better off going to the worst mental institution in the United States. Take them out and put all the congressmen in there.
I was the one who told you earlier that the congressmen and the senators are the problem, because you have people who are not doing the work of this country. They're not making things happen. Senator
Larry Bird, who I respect, I really respect this guy. Don't you think at 90 years old you should pack it in already? I mean, how many hours? This guy probably falls asleep every day at the table. They're talking about major problems in the United States. He's probably at 90 years old. Come on, give us a break already. They should have an age limit. 75, that's it. You can't... 75, you can't drive. 80, I'm going to make it 80. 80, you can't drive. You can't drive a car no more. 75, you can't be a congressman no more. That's it.
I think
that's it.
I think maybe you should put that senator's 90 on the last comic standing.
90-year-old senator. God bless him. I got all the respect in the world.
Why?
I actually think he's one of the very few honest politicians left.
Well, then why do you want him to go away?
Well, at 90, he can't do nothing no more. It's like once you reach a certain age, you can't have intercourse anymore. You can look at it, but you can't have it. He's in there. The guy falls asleep.
What's Mike's website here?
www.thekidfrombrooklyn.com.
Be right back.